My biggest complaints about this franchise have already been given when I went over the first movie in this series. I kinda hoped on some level that this movie would help explain away those problems, but it didn't. The reason the aliens took over the planet isn't because our military forgot how to fly helicopters or coordinate escape efforts, nor did they fail to notice that they could draw all the aliens to following them simply by driving a very loud machine overhead, just out of jumping reach. The military very quickly learned the strengths and weaknesses of the aliens and successfully communicated those to the population. Our point of view characters were able to exploit the aliens' inability to swim to kill one even without the use of military-grade weapons, training, or tactics. The military learned that they could make maneuvering more difficult for the aliens by destroying bridges and high buildings. And yet, among all the things the military did, shooting at the aliens seems never to have crossed their minds. They had explosives that could blow up a bridge, knew how to lure the aliens to any place they wanted, and had the machinery and manpower to actually do it, and just didn't. If we leave that one well-established point to one side, though, this movie was actually pretty good. It's the Girl and Her Cat movie my wife has been waiting for her entire life. When I was a kid, I had a dog that defined my childhood. My wife had a cat that filled that role. It has been a lament of hers since we were dating that there are lots of boy and his dog stories and movies, but not so many girl and her cat stories and movies. Seeing this movie flesh out, all I could think is, this is a girl and her cat movie that I can get behind. The girl, Sam, is an accomplished poet in the late stages of some kind of cancer, dying a painful death. Her cat, Frodo, is a well-trained comfort animal that goes everywhere with her. As the alien attack ramps up, Sam realizes that this may be her last opportunity to get pizza from her favorite pizza place, between the world ending and her dying. So instead of joining the masses on a trek to the river to escape, she goes the other direction into the city to find her pizza. This gets at something difficult to quantify in the study of ethics: time. If Sam were healthy, then her quest for her favorite pizza would be questionable at best. The value of a good poet in the restoration of human society cannot be overestimated. Throwing away her life on a foolish pursuit just because she likes pizza most likely will hurt herself, besides depriving society of a valuable member in the upcoming difficulties. That's somewhat mitigated by her condition. She's not even supposed to have made it this long. Surviving the apocalypse long enough to help with restoration efforts without pain management medications is unlikely at best. Pizza tastes good now. There are economic theories out there that suggest we are really working for time. I think these are incomplete. I've known too many people willing to trade a shorter shift on a harder project for a longer shift on an easier project. That's kind of the gist these people are aiming at, though. If there is some kind of universal measurement of value, it seems to me that it's best expressed in terms of enjoyment multiplied by time enjoyed minus effort divided by time working. Not having much time left really inflated the enjoyment element in this equation. It's worth giving up the last weeks to get beloved pizza. Figuring out when, exactly, these value/time pairs intersect is complicated and personal. However, I think that approaching them this way can be helpful. The ethics of how best to manage the care of the dying is a complicated question, but there's something to it hints at the universality of moral values. From an entirely utilitarian point of view, once we know that someone is going to die, the best thing to do is to stop using resources on them. Yet cultures that fail to provide for their sick and elderly quickly decay, then disappear. The way this works isn't apparent, yet there seems to be quite a correlation that those societies that take care of their elderly regardless of what they provide, and those societies that advance through time. This is why I think that love is a universal principle that works in ways we don't yet fully understand.